I'm getting royally fucked in the US markets. Why are they ripping so hard? Are you short? You shorted the US market? I feel like I've been so clear that, like, unless this is your professional full-time job, I think open shorting is crazy. I think you're just, the risk reward is not in your flavor. The reason the markets are ripping is that our good buddy Jerome Powell has been saying for over a year now, we're gonna fight inflation. We're gonna raise interest rates higher for longer. There will be pain. And then I guess at the most recent one, he's like, actually we're gonna cut. Which implies that they saw something in their data that shit was about to break, because they have access to better data. They saw that shit was about to go bad, possibly upcoming banking crisis or whatever. So they're like, we're gonna cut. And they announced 3 different cuts, or they guided towards 3 cuts in 24 to get us back down to low interest rates. Maybe 2%, 3%, we'll see. But obviously the market loves that news. That means the crack cocaine tap is coming back on. The money's gonna get cheap again. And so everything rallied at once. Everything after that presser rally. The fuck, Apple hit all-time highs. Apple actually hit a market cap of $3.2 trillion, which is slightly above the market cap of France's entire stock market, which is also at all-time highs. France's entire stock market is 3.1. I'm sorry, let me switched. 3.1 for Apple, 3.2 for France. By the way, they're right next to each other. It's crazy. And that's France being at all-time highs. That's with LVMH fucking through the roof. So I mean, I'm reading about this religiously and trying to understand it from smarter people than me and really getting to the bottom of it. This chart I liked. This is inflation in the 1970s when they raised interest rates. And then inflation went down and they said, okay, the job's done, and they cut. Then inflation roared back again and we got a second wave and it was way worse. And I think there's a real chance we do get a second wave of inflation, but I don't know. Serious question. Why don't more people who have no idea what to do on investments just invest in index funds that follow the S&P 500? That's the default answer. And I'm not a financial advisor. And so if you want to know the safe thing to do, you should do that. I personally have opinions that I don't like to hide, that I am concerned about it right now. I'm concerned about it because the S&P 500 is weighted and it's mostly buying 7 massive stocks that are at all-time highs. And the gap between the valuations of S&P 500 companies and companies in every other market has never been this big of a gap. And so there's a general sense that maybe perhaps you are buying high, not low. So, I mean, like right now, if you want the super safe route, I think you've never had a better time in history in your lifetimes to buy government bonds. You can buy treasuries that give you fucking 5-6%, zero risk 100% free. You can get long-term 10-year bonds with at above inflation. Like there's a lot of things you can do that are like 100% risk-free. But obviously, like, listen, if you're young, you can invest in the S&P your whole life and it will go up. I'm trying to be extra optimal. Dog, IDK, if I'm gonna be able to afford rent, fuck bonds. Obviously, bro, I'm not saying to someone who's like trying to find their fucking apartment money, hey, this is a good time to put it all into fucking the 2-year, dude. I am just saying if excess money that you're looking to invest, everyone will tell you, just put it in the S&P 500. And I just want to give an alternate view of some things that I've heard from smart people. Here's a really smart person. There's a guy named Mike Green. I think he's one of the smartest people I've ever met. Watch some of his work on like the dangers that he's looked into of everyone being passive on the same couple stocks. All right, that's all I'm saying. It's interesting, but it's like delivered in a boring way. If anyone wants to invest, send me your cash and I'll keep it under my mattress. That's a good idea. Now, Drop Spindle has been doing this awesome thing as part of the union, where you send her all your dues and she keeps them for herself in her house. It's awesome. It's like a great system. That way you're set. Pension. As a chatter, if you want your pension to be safe, just mail the money to Drop Spindle. It's the Drop Spindle 500. Yeah. As in she buys 500 yarn plushies with it. That's why it's called the Drop Spindle 500. It's amazing. So, and those hold their value. H-Rock, do you think people are naturally bad and are enabled by money, or do bad people become rich more often? There's probably something to be said for literal psychopaths being able to rise in corporate environments. People that have the ability to step on other people's heads and like climb the ladder. But in general, the way I see it is in the wise words of, I was going to say Uncle Ben, but it's like reverse Uncle Ben. It's this power corrupts, you know? I think generally, if you look through all human history, what happens is if ever one person or one group or one entity get so far ahead where they lost the ability to be checked by other people, then either that person individually or that group over time eventually becomes quote unquote evil, just because they have nothing stopping them, and human nature does have an element of greed in it. A wise tweet once said, "I'm only socialist till I get my hands on some money." What I was saying wasn't even related to socialism or capitalism or anything. It was about balance of power, which is something I believe in. I read so much about China lately, and I've been talking with our researcher Stefik about it, and I just noticed there's things I like about what China does that I wish we would steal, and then things I hate about what they do. And what I notice is, like, over there, the state's power is kind of unchecked. There is no counterpoint to the state. Xi Jinping basically has nobody that can tell him no on anything. And so that's a problem. Like, that leads to abuses from the state. And then in America, we have like unchecked corporations that have like no real balance of power on them. And because nobody can stop them, we have similar abuses. And so it's like, that's the difference in our two systems that fucks over regular people either way. Like, either way, regular people are getting fucked, but it's through a different dildo, if you must understand. Genuine question, why are you so fascinated with China? I think it's just the biggest change in the global order that has existed our entire lives and well before them. Basically, the post-World War II global order is finally being challenged by ascendant China in a way that never existed before, and that is causing all sorts of cracks and frays to appear all over the system, all over the world, as we sort of spread into this new multipolar China-US world. And so it's very fascinating. It's very interesting. China's not like any other country. China's like a difference. They've changed the paradigm on this one. So I like to be informed because I don't think they're unimportant. I think they're very important. China also has a huge stake in the global market. It's important to keep up with them. That sounds like a wise sentence, but you wrote steak, S-T-E-A-K, as if China has a gigantic fucking cow stake in the global market, which is stupid. So we're all gonna laugh at you. That was Thraxis13. Steak, bro? What are you doing? A huge steak? I'm Xi Jinping eating a fucking steak. Hey, get some A1 sauce, Xi. Bro, what are you doing? What are you saying? Lunacy, dude. Hey, sure, I corrected it right after, I swear. Sorry, man, but that's the way she goes. Okay? Hey, Shrug, do you think China will forgive us for Justin Bieber? Justin Bieber is Canadian. Your question is dumb on both its surface and its underbelly. That one was truly fantastic. Hey, Shrug, do you think you could get China and Walmart to work together or get married? Nope, I don't think I could do that. They're very tight, though, because a lot of stuff in Walmart is made in China. Hey, Truck, are devices and the internet designed to keep us complacent while corporations fuck us? I think it's so funny that you think it's a conspiracy when there's no second step. No, but okay, so imagine you're rotting your brain on TikTok and you're watching 100 ads they're making money off, and you're like, man, I bet they're just using this to fuck me. Like, so that I'm complacent while they... Like, it's just happening live. It's what you're doing is they're making money off your attention. It's not like they want to do something else while you're distracted. It's happening right there. I feel like it would be really easy to get addicted to gambling. Is that the government trying to stop me from winning big? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that natural human response to be like, hey, I'm afraid that I'll lose all my money on this obviously bad gamble. That's the government. You want to block that out. That's Joe Biden himself, through your vaccine, trying to stop you from making finally life-changing money. He wants to keep you down. 100%, that is the system we're in. You have to push through that, and you really have to put it all on red.